We're back.
I'm the light bringer. I'm the fucking universe.
Welcome in. Bane, thank you for the new true facts about my life. Nelson, welcome in. Excellent. I'm glad to see you both. As we left off, I don't remember what this place was called. Boreal Valley? Something of the Boreal Valley? They'll probably tell me at this bonfire. Irithyll of the Boreal Valley. That's where we are. Alright. How's everybody doing tonight? It still worries me. Come on. Come on. Come on. Excellent. Excellent. Glad to hear that, Nelson. We're still kind of, get the purpose of that. I know it's one of my rings that's doing it. I don't get the purpose of it. Obscures rolling. The dex boost is appreciated, though. Like, how much of a boost? 3 points. Yeah. And given that my current weapon scales with dex, not a bad idea. No. That's just disgusting. Thought the range on that was a lot shorter. Okay, odd that I had the fire bombs equipped. Ah, okay. Moving on. So this one's annoying because he has a shield. Oh, that it backing away did buy me the time I needed to regen stamina. Look at that. What was it, like 25 hours in and kick was finally useful? And happened when I wanted it to? See me streaming in the evenings. Data crashing, better for work. I finished work at 2 PM. It is now 8:38. Originally, I wasn't going to be streaming until probably Sunday. But things have happened with my schedule. So I can stream tonight and probably Friday. Probably Friday. I had a nap. Because I'm gonna have to be up like really late tomorrow for work. The weekend. The real trouble with my work schedule is the inconsistency of it. Like, I'd probably be just generally happier with what I do if I had a regular schedule. And then you could have regular streams. I used to stream, like, I used to have a streaming schedule that was Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays. I want to drink, so I need to do this before this guy outgrows. Back in the old days, it'd be Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays. Those would be guaranteed streams. It's shit. But yeah, back in the old days, it would be Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays. Those would be guaranteed streams. You know, that one worked out quite well. It'd be Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays. Those would be your guaranteed streams, and there'd be a chance of bonus streams between those. And so I used to like alternate stuff as well. Yeah, it's a big part of why I don't post on the Discord like we're gonna stream this, this, and this week. Because like even beyond any of that, I don't know if I'm gonna feel like doing it afterwards. Come on, boys. Oh, a lot better today. But yeah, used to be Tuesday, Thursday, Sundays, those would be guaranteed. And so I'd do stuff like I'd alternate between games each stream. With the idea of like, if people aren't enjoying one game, then they can probably come and enjoy the other. So they don't feel like they have to avoid the stream for weeks at a time if they want to watch. For example, back when I did Dark Souls 2, which was long ago enough that I was doing that, I was alternating Dark Souls 2 with Final Fantasy 8. Ain't gonna go nicely. Split them up, split them up. This one will be easier because it doesn't have a shield, I just need to get the opening. Yeah, so I was streaming Final Fantasy VIII, alternating with Dark Souls 2 when I did Dark Souls 2. And then I hit a point where I was just not enjoying Dark Souls 2 so much that I just stopped and then did all of Final Fantasy VIII instead. Really shouldn't commit to big attacks like that. Give me Twinkling Titanite. I can upgrade this. I mean, there's always the possibility of that, Bane. There's always the possibility of, like, the constant having to be on with Dark Souls burning you out. But I didn't feel it with Dark Souls 1, possibly because I had done it before. And more to the point, I'm not feeling it with this yet. Which, like, session 5 of this, I feel like by this point, I feel like Dark Souls 2 unless, like, definitely move. I feel like Dark Souls 2 unless, like, 9 sessions. By this time into Dark Souls 2, I was getting tired of it. Yeah, that is true. But then you've seen that happen with other games I've done. Like, remember some of the Shin Megami Tensei streams? Where I'd play for, like, 2 hours and then die to, let's be fair, bullshit. And there hadn't been a save point between, like, the start and the time I died. Of course it doesn't. They're basically aggro now, aren't they? It's like, it really depends on the game. It's honestly a quote near and dear to my heart. This whole idea of still calling things handhelds, just because they don't have to be connected to an external display. Like, the Steam Deck is great, do not get me wrong. But I do not like playing the Steam Deck myself because of how big it is. I don't like playing my Switch because of how big it is. Like, I got an OLED Switch, and I feel like it was kind of a waste, because I don't enjoy playing it in handheld because of how big it is. And then the Switch 2's bigger than that. Plus, then on top of that, you're adding in the issue of the Switch 2, same as the Switch. It's flat. Like, absolutely zero ergonomics to it. Which makes it really uncomfortable to hold for any real length of time. Because you're having to, like, bunch your fingers up around it to hold it up. You can't, like, really have your fingers flat on the back and then access the analog sticks. And the analog sticks are really fucking tall for what they are. So, like, for my Switch OLED, I have a grip on it. I've shown the grip off recently. I have the same brand of grip on my Switch Lite, which, like, despite being smaller, still has very much the same issue, just being completely flat.
Just wasn't it?
Look at this attack boost. I need 8 Twinkling Titanite for the next level.
Pretty be careful, I don't want to say.
I haven't picked up an Estus shard, have I?
Just wasn't.
No.
Pretty be.
Like, I feel like the Switch Lite would be my preferred Switch if it could dock with a TV. There was a point when we moved where we didn't have... I didn't have a TV set up for a while. And this was before I had, like, my extensive retro handheld collection. So, like, the retro handheld I would have had at the time... Augmentic. it would have probably been this. This is the Ambinic RG350P, which is a revision to the original 350 model. It moves the analog stick down here, it recesses them. It's a very nice system. It can play up to PlayStation 1, and it can't do all of PlayStation 1. Like, it struggles with Tekken 3 and Bloody Raw 2. But it was good. That was all I had. So, like, actually playing handheld at the time, I was playing a bunch of Switch Lite. Just like, I find the Switch Lite generally feelable. I pulled it out recently this week, and it's small enough, I think, to be comfortably playable. You still need to really get a grip for it, because of how flat it is. It's not all that comfortable as it comes. Like, just the weight difference between the Switch Lite and the Switch OLED. Significant. Yeah, to get back to, to get to what you're saying, Teak, if the Switch Lite could dock to the TV, it wouldn't be a Switch Lite. It could still be a Switch Lite. It would still be, like, a smaller model. And I think that would be well worth it. Because let's be fair, the Switch is primarily marketed as like a handheld console that can dock to the TV. I feel, rather than a console that you can take away from the TV. Maybe I'm wrong there, but and I think just making it smaller is not a bad idea. For the sake of handheld. Because they used to do that with, like, all the handhelds. You're pointing me this way, that's cute. Used to do that with all the handhelds. Like, remember the DS to the DS Lite? The Game Boy to the Game Boy Pocket? The Game Boy Advance to the Game Boy Advance SP? The Atari Lynx to the Atari Lynx 2. I think it's kind of wild to look at the Atari Lynx and somebody said, this is a handheld. Even the Atari Lynx 2 is, like, really bulky. Yeah, let's see what's down here. I have a bad feeling that we're running across dark and stuff. Think I'm fucking stupid? Of course, it's a nothing item. Yeah, I remember, like, for a while, I was holding out hope that we'd get, like, a Steam Deck Lite. Like, a smaller revision of the Steam Deck. But it just seems like the way we're going now. Ooh, thank you. It seems like the way we're going now is just handheld is as big as we want it to be. Hey, Spunk. We haven't died so far, but we have only been playing for like 25 minutes. You know I can see you there, right? That looks mad. Dogs again. It's like, I suppose it's kind of inevitable. When you look at how resolutions have been getting higher, sneaky bastard. And screens just generally have been getting bigger. I feel like companies forget that, like, you've got to try and keep the weight down in these handhelds as well as the size. Or, like, make it ergonomic and... Ergonomic? Ergonomic. Supposed to be the final boss before it got reworked. Interesting. Yeah, make it, like, ergonomic enough that the weight doesn't really matter. The Steam Deck almost gets there. Like, the Steam Deck is surprisingly ergonomic. But at the end of the day, it is still, like, probably too heavy. Yeah. And, like, all of its controls are, like, surprisingly well positioned. Because, like, you look at it, and the controls are kind of, like, in a line. It's like buttons, analog sticks, trackpads. But they work out fairly well with, like, where your thumbs will go. Yep. That's exactly what we're talking about. Like the Switch, and to a greater extent the Switch 2. Because the Switch 2 is bigger. I don't understand why after like 7 years of the Switch, Nintendo would look at the Joy-Cons and say, you know what'll fix the Joy-Cons if they were bigger and less comfortable?
Farewell, Ashen One. May the...
Yeah, I should do it.
Welcome home. Speak. Very well, then take me. Let these souls with
Give me more vitality. Well, the Switch is absolutely
Farewell, may the...
a very child-aimed system, I think. Like, kids love the Switch. But child hands cannot effectively wield the Switch. And again, like I was saying earlier, one of its biggest problems is generally the sticks are too tall for it. Especially when you hold it in handheld. The Switch's analog sticks should be lower down. Recessed, maybe. I want to go through the door over here. I go through the door over here. I see it looking at me. Yeah, it's so badly designed for handheld. It's the ridiculous thing with the Switch that's always been the problem. The concessions made as a console for it to operate in handheld mode, meaning the Joy-Cons are fucking garbage controllers. And then the concessions made to the handheld mode for it to be console. Bitch. And, like, you really do need a grip for it. Of course it doesn't. Listen, if you want to fight, open that gate for me. Cowards. But yeah, I think generally the Switch Lite ends up working out more reasonable. In terms of its weight, though, you still kind of really do want a dock for it. It also having a D-pad is very nice. Like, a lot more than you would think. Like, rather than the buttons. Oh, now you have grieved me, sir. There's a fog wall over there. Yeah, I think, like, just generally the Switch Lite is way more enjoyable to play in handheld. Like, I played through all of Gnosia in handheld mode back when I was, like, I only had access to my Switch Lite for a while. Because I didn't have a TV set up. Which was just after the move, and it lasted for like a week after the move. And so I played through, like, all of Gnosia, which is a game that nobody knows about. Nobody knew about it at the time. It was a game that caught my eye. And people might know it now because it got an anime adaptation. I enjoyed it. Yeah, everything's too big. Like, I look at the ROG Ally, the Xbox ones, and it's like, okay, I get where you're going here, where you've got, like, actual controller grips on it, and it's a good idea. Good idea. The system still has, like, a 7-inch screen. A bit much. Yeah. Didn't expect that to actually work. Well, well, well. Mr. Hazard. Yeah, and then you take it into account that, like, especially with the ROG Ally, the original model, which it doesn't have, like, the controller-style grips on it. Like, a big part of the selling point of that was like, oh, it's more powerful than the Steam Deck. Like, cool, so how much more have you had to put into its weight? I know where I am. We're just talking about modern handhelds. I was wondering where you were. We're just talking about modern handhelds and how they're not handheld. Okay, the other one's going to be a problem because he's got a shield. Yeah. And it all started because one of the quotes that came up was me complaining about how big the Switch 2 is. That doesn't seem fair. Go down there, I'm going to shove my sword right up his arse to the hilt. like, it feels relevant, because, like I said in a recent stream, I had a thought for a moment of, like, maybe I'll get a Switch 2. And then I'm looking at it and I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about? Like, one, the price is fucking stupid. Two, it has no games to get. Three, like, not only are you spending money on the system, you're spending more money on the accessories. Which gets even worse now because it has to have that specific micro SD card, the express cards. The real problem here is the shield guy. I can't take him out quickly with that shield. Thanks, Kip. I can't believe that worked as well as it did. Bitch. I mean, that's what Nintendo banks on, isn't it? Like, its own IPs and the pre-existing quality of them. But, like, bear in mind, the last mainline Mario, if you want to count only the 3D games as, like, mainline Mario, the last mainline Mario was Odyssey. And, like, how long ago was that? But the last mainline Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, was not that long ago, and it took, like, 7 years to come out. 2018. So we might be due for one. We might be due for a new 3D Mario. Or with Mario, they might count Mario Wonder as a mainline Mario and be like, yeah, we can do another one of this. That said, Mario Wonder is genuinely fun. Like, I finally started playing it again. And I'm continuing with it, and it's a lot of fun. I don't think I've gotten anything from coming back here with this. Yeah, the 3D platformers hit differently. I get that. For the most part, I do prefer 3D. 2D in that regard these days. Probably because we have so many 2D platformers these days, but so few 3D platformers. But I feel like I went off 3D platformers. I really struggle with them now, like, just holding my attention. Yeah, I guess there's nothing for me over here. I'll have to find a way around. This ledge? Oh, the ledge I was looking at a minute ago that I'm pretty sure led to another area it had already been that was a dead end. That ledge? That ledge? Yeah, because that just leads around there, and there's nothing there. There is another pathway I've got in mind, just not this one, it looks like. I wanted to come back here and see what was here before I decided to commit. Alright. We're gonna hit up the bonfire again anyway, refill our Estus. I can't believe there's nothing here. Alright. Yeah, Super Mario Bros. Wonder is a lot of fun, especially in comparison with the new Super Mario Bros. Games, which New Super Mario Bros. Wii and New Super Mario Bros. U especially really felt like they want you to play them co-op, and so they really feel like you're losing something playing them single player. There you are. And I don't feel like that's the case with Wonder, which is really nice. I want to take out these dogs just for paranoia's sake. This game has had so many dogs. And then the other dog hiding in the corner. Has it really been almost 2 years since I played Dino Crisis 2? What a fun game Dino Crisis 2 is. Yeah, it feels more like a puzzle platformer than just a standard platformer. Like, it retains the traditional Mario movement and gameplay, but it feels like it's more of a puzzler. And I really enjoy it. Right, going down there is probably a bad idea. This is Dark Souls, where bad ideas come to die. What am I looking at? Oh, are you coming forward? I'm gonna fight you on even ground. Well. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, 3D World's another one I've been chipping away at for like an extended period. It's a game I've come to appreciate more over the years. Never played much of it on Wii U. I was never fond of the idea of 3D gameplay in 2D style mechanics and levels. But I found I do quite enjoy the limitations of that concept. It means we're not having like these huge sprawling levels that way anymore. Like, it's kind of good bite-sized stuff. Come on. Breaking things isn't scary, guys. I can do it too. Yeah, I do like some of the ideas it's got. It is quite fun. I think it is a good step up from 3D Land. Which, I never finished 3D Land. I beat the standard game and unlocked the special world, and then didn't really do much with it. Which is a shame, because, like, pushing through that far, I'd finally started to enjoy it. Because up until, like, maybe World 6, the game's really too easy. Well, have fun down there. Moron. You gonna climb that ladder or what? Also fell down. Hmm. Yeah, this side. That doesn't look like a mimic, but at no point am I going to trust this. Oshka's spear. Jim, I'm not doing a spear run this time. Yeah, but that's just a ploy to lure you in, Clint, so that I can eat you. Alright, there's the bridge. There's where I started. Oh, I'm sorry, I misread the distance. Okay, so now we're under the bridge. And I know I saw items down there. Alright. That was stupid of me. What the... What just hit me? Something hit me there that I didn't see. Aura? I don't like that. I don't like having to watch out for things that I can't see. Fortunately, it's not actually that far. Get my souls back and then go and kill whatever screamed. Alright, boys. Line up. Alright, boys. I'll be back in a moment. Alright, boys. Line up. Well, that was wonderful. I wanted the wider swing. I didn't want it to swing above their heads. I'm going invisible thinking I'll forget that I've not killed you. That's where I died. Something there screamed. So we're gonna do this aggressively. It is an interesting concept when the game plays on your natural hesitation, your desire to take things a little slowly and feel it out. And then it's like, yeah, doing that is going to get you killed, and it's like, it's kind of an interesting subversion. Got it! Anyone else? Douchebags. You guys see that? Wonderful. Well, the wall forgot to load in for a second as I came around and I saw something glowing behind it. Wouldn't have even noticed it otherwise. Wouldn't have thought to check. Oh, I don't want to do combat like this. Right, I got a blood gem. That's a weapon thing, alright. I was forgetting for a minute what the gems are in this game. You an enemy? You gonna be an enemy if I pick this up? Yes. Gotcha. Don't like that. It's definitely an underappreciated element of horror that I think the Japanese get and not a lot of other countries get. Hair is unsettling. Like, too much hair is unsettling. And the Japanese get it. This is weirdly peaceful and serene. I don't like any of this. Going over there is probably a bad idea. But I think it's a dead end, so I should go over there. There's one, there's two, there's three. That'll probably wake up. probably bullshit. Oh, good. That makes me feel much more assured that I can attack them even if they're hiding. Where are they keeping all those legs? Like, 1 minute they're kind of just like a skeletal blob. The next they have like 16 legs. I don't think you're dead, sir. Curious. Not worth it, because I do not use miracles. It's Christmas, Theo. It's the time for miracles. Great! No, great heal. So yeah, like, I think it's very simple things. Like, there's the idea of the uncanny valley. Something that looks close to human, but just off. That really sets off, like, subconscious warning bells. And I think, like, too much hair does it. Limbs that are just too long do it. Also, like, we know how humans move, so when something that looks human moves in a very inhuman way, that's also horrific. And it's good stuff. Like, you make a human, but you make them just slightly off. Oh, this doesn't turn into a giant rock monster I have to fight. I want to fight a rock monster. Do it. See, this is a smart horror idea as well. When nothing happens for a while. It's like when something happens, it lets out all the tension. Is Dark Souls a horror game? In my 17-part essay. Interesting how it's immediately dark over there. Like, very quickly dark. So,
Welcome home, speak. Very well, then taken. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity, elucidated by fire. Farewell,
Bye.
Ashen One.
Do I have anything to give to you?
Ah, well,
No. Do you have anything worth it for me? Bearer, seek, best. Bearer, give me $20.
Ashen One.
Yeah, bye-bye. And I'm still doing the good rolls. Excellent. I feel like this is going to be worth doing. Shine a light upon the darkness. Gonna fill your dark soul with light. Like, it is wild how quickly this area becomes, like, pitch black. Plus, a little bit of fire damage probably isn't a bad thing. Rudimentary, not impressive, but in a pinch. Curious how running through water does not take stamina. Let's find out how bad of an idea this is. Fascinating. Well, I got their attention. Go on, you can pathfind. Believe in yourself. Yeah, you did it. That looked like a grab attack. I don't want to know what happens if they grab me. Ah, good. Shit. Oh, you look kind of like gaping dragons. That's right, Clem. I sure don't. Rude to spit. Got aggressive there, didn't you? Unpleasant. Did you aggro? Don't get up if you ain't gonna come over and say hello. Good. Bullshit. It is wild exactly how far that goes from, like, start up to the end of it. Like, if I hadn't honed my Dark Souls instincts extensively, this could have been very nasty. As it is, my Dark Souls instincts have had me become suspicious of everything. And also rolling a lot. Like, there's enough in Dark Souls 1. Oh, wonderful. Excellent. Like, there's enough in Dark Souls 1 where it's like... You cannot block this. And I'm like, cool. When in doubt, roll. It is a good roll, and I'm very happy with, like, the roll level I have. And I refuse to go into fat roll. Yeah, pretty much. Like, I'm glad I don't have to check the ceilings anymore, because we don't seem to have any more blobs. But also, like, I'm very wary of things still dropping from the ceiling. Like, don't rush forward, but don't be overly slow. Because if you're overly slow, the game will prey on you by dropping something on your head. Well, boys, I think we found the amazing chest. And what's in here? Kinda looks like Ariamis. That's just a blob. Like, might that be Gwendolyn? That's a chair. Might be a graveyard. Got distracted by the titties, didn't you? White. Got a lot of poise, don't you, boy? Give me a hand. Alright, you. You know, from the damage that did when it hit me, would not have figured it for a, one of the dragon bows. The Dragon Slayer bows. I'm gonna come up there, I'm gonna have words with you, you fucking prick. I'm gonna keep this clenched between my butt cheeks for when I go up there and have words with him. Looking at this looks smaller than the Dragon Slayer arrows, I feel. I feel like the Silver Knights were only ever a problem in one area, and I don't need to elaborate what area that is. You all know it. Thanks, Kit. Listen, I'll be with you in a moment. Yeah, like, can you really be said to have played Dark Souls if you haven't, like, horribly died in Anor Londo by being knocked off the ledge? Well, I could do with a lock-on happening here. Alright. Alright. We'll play it that way. I have to go through the sewers again now. Happy about that. Well, like, once you get into Anor Londo and you get to that bonfire, like, the Silver Knights are definitely, like, the best thing to practice harrying on. I would love to just run up to those stairs, but it will undeniably end badly for me. That was fucking rude. Come on. Do it. Do it. Could have taken the chance. They're probably not going to aggro if I just go up the stairs. Right, there wasn't an enemy in here. What's an Estus pot? Drink the soup. Drink Grandma's soup that will refill your health and your magic and give you double damage until you get hit. You know, I didn't expect that to be a permanent death. Alright, fuck it. You cunt. All I wanted to do was take a second to appreciate the amazing chest. That's interesting. Was that sorcerer also a permanent death? No, it wasn't. The dogs just aggroed way earlier this time. Alright. Oh no, there's just more dogs. Alright. And more sorcerers, gotcha. I do like the architecture of this area. Like, I feel like an area like this didn't exist in Dark Souls 1 or 2. So it feels fresh. We have less dogs, please. Okay. Now can I have a second to breathe, or is there some more bullshit that wants to hit me? I don't know, like, the closest might be Dranglade Castle. But even then, like, Castle and Castle City, like, very different in terms of feel. So I'm definitely enjoying the aesthetic of this area. Find out if we're making a mistake going this way rather than up the stairs. I feel like this is probably a shortcut. Bitchin'. Bitchin'. This one feels lived in, yeah. I feel like they definitely took some inspiration from Bloodborne in the way they've set this up. Like the city in Bloodborne. And it's nice. It feels unlike anything I've dealt with previously in Dark Souls, which is nice. I feel like Dark Souls could very easily get caught up in like nostalgia whoring. The fuck? It's probably what killed me earlier. Similar to the Ivory King DLC, I did not do that because, honestly, I just didn't want to play more of Dark Souls 2. And I'm curious to see if Klim will feel the same way in his current Dark Souls 2 playthrough. Bitch. Because, like, by the time I got to the end of Dark Souls 2, and we're in the position to see about going to get the other ending, where you deal with Vendrick, and, like, do some of the DLCs and such, I was just like, I don't want to play more Dark Souls 2. Here are the credits. It's good enough for me. Best and worst parts of the game all at once. That does not endear them to me. You think this game should have more music? Or do you feel like the game not having music? That's scythe or a bow. Or do you think the game not having music is what allows it to have, like, as strong a soundscape as it has? Okay, look, you need to back off. I will admit, that is a cool scythe. Like, I do appreciate that. Fuck off. You know, if we're doing this, get down here on even ground. I'm not fighting you on stairs. I do appreciate that Dark Souls, like, has that rich soundscape that lets you, like, really pay attention to the sounds. To be like, okay, is there something sneaking up behind me, but being really loud about it? Really expected that to be a backstab. Alright. Log wall. I can open up a shortcut back up here. There, perfect. Yeah, I think not having music in an open world game is definitely a harder sell. I think it's something that Breath of the Wild really suffers with. It's like, oh yeah, the Zelda series with its generally fantastic sound design, Breath of the Wild. Yeah, it's like, oh, Breath of the Wild, Zelda, the Zelda series with its generally fantastic musical scores. And Breath of the Wild is like, hmm? There were two back here. There you are. Alright. Perfect. I don't know. I feel like having just some kind of background music going through would really help with the monotony of exploration as you start hitting like the 50-hour mark. If I remember rightly, that increases the potency of miracles, right? Yep. Useless to me. Well, you have to mix it up. I think Sonic Frontiers has an interesting thing. Ooh. I think Sonic Frontiers has an interesting thing of letting you, like, choose music that you listen to as you go through. And I think they realized that the music that they made for the game probably wouldn't hold up for extended open world sessions. So they give you access to music from other Sonic games. And I think having something like that could work. I have 4 Estus, I do not want to go through there like this. Alright, we have a nearby bonfire. But, like, Nintendo knows how to do music. They know how to do sound design. I think they probably could have come up with, like, enough variety or, like, variable mixes so it's not the same thing. There's variations in it over time. I just think, like, having nothing was probably overall a mistake. Alright, we'll level up, and then we'll run this ad that's about to pop up in the next 5 minutes.
Welcome, husband. Very well then taken.
Yeah, more vitality, I think. And I'll use another one of those
Farewell,
big
Ashen One.
souls
May the
and level up again so I'm not going into a boss fight with 13,000 souls.
Welcome home, Ashen One. Speak. Very
It's
well.
weird sometimes how
Then touch the darkness within him.
developers can put so much effort in specific areas and then feel like there's not a whole lot of effort in other areas. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Very well. Then touch.
It reminds me of, like,
Farewell, Ashen One.
the build-up to release of Final Fantasy 15, and there was a thing of, like, on Twitter, of like, oh yeah, we saw this rock while we were out traveling, and we liked the look of it, so we took a bunch of pictures so we can put it in the game. And it's like, this is a weird focus on stuff that no one's going to pay attention to, and then the game comes out and it's not finished. Oh, that reminds me, I should check out that sword that I picked up, the curved sword. I can't wield it. It requires intelligence? What? Large spinning motion. Low durability as well. Or so it says, like, oh, it's brittle. Cool, it has higher durability than my current weapon. It has higher durability than most of my weapons. And if I was going to put anything, I could put 1 point to intelligence and use this. And it doesn't even scale with intelligence, so it doesn't matter. I'd be curious to see how it works. But I'm not wasting points like that. Yeah, it's weird that you can go back to Andre and he's like, yeah, do you want to repair your weapons? And the way it's working is odd to me because I feel like every time I'm sitting down, it's repairing all of my equipment. I wonder if it'll become a thing at some point. But we're going to run this ad, and then we'll be right back, and we'll take on what's behind that fog wall, or we'll go to the other bonfire and go the direction that I didn't go. We'll see. We will see. We'll be right back.
Listen to the woman, John. Calm down, just calm down. Calm down, just calm down.
We're back.
Failure. Success.
Very good. Thank you, Clip. You can have a sound alert for that, Clem.
Everybody else gotta
Perfect. Alright, I think what we're going to do is we're going to head up to that fog wall. The only time previously that I've encountered a pre-existing fog wall in this game led us to the Deacons of the Deep. So this is also probably going to be substantial. And probably also a dead end looking at that place. So we'll go in there, we'll do that, and then probably go down the other pathway that is in the distant manor. I appreciate when games tell me the name of things. Thanks, Kick. Thanks, Kick. Going back to the fucking bonfire for that. Yeah, I appreciate when games just tell me the name of things like that. It's why I know, like, the name of every enemy in Ocarina of Time. Because, like, you bet your ass as a kid, I looked at the enemy logs. Less so with Majora's Mask, but that's mostly because Majora's Mask uses a lot more Japanese names. It's a curry. And it's why I can't tell you the name of, like, most of the Wind Waker bosses, because the game doesn't tell you. I can't tell you the name of most of the Wind Waker enemies, because the game doesn't tell you. I feel like removing the ability to, like, look up what their names are. Like, I get they didn't want to do Navi or Tattle again, but, like, I feel like they should have done something so you could still look at enemies and get a little bit of a description on them. It was a good feature. And then Wind Waker also not telling you boss names. Now I can dual wield them. Like, I'm glad Twilight Princess brought that back, though it was less interesting than when Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask did it. But that's mostly because in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, the bosses all had, like, unique subtitles. In Twilight Princess, they're all Twilight. Alright, let's see how bad this is gonna be. Oh, you can't fucking return the favor? Rude. Not appreciate combat. Thanks, guys. That's an impressive thrust. Oh shit. You know, I'd forgotten this game has phase 2s. Oh no. Huh. Like, absolutely fascinating that it has phase 2, so basically every boss. Such a cool concept, and it's really been well done. But also, like, keep forgetting it, and I keep getting complacent. Thank you. Alright. Alright. I think it really helps mix things up with dude enemies, which was a problem Dark Souls 2 had. Like, a lot of Dark Souls 2 bosses were just dudes. And so far, I feel like any enemy I've fought that's a dude has had something of interest to them. Alright. Round 2. And because you didn't bow last time, you decided to just take a cheap shot. Dick. You know, it was a good sidestep. Compliment. Like, its movements are super smooth. It's so cool. Not my target, is it? I am not going to attempt to parry this thing right now. Well, didn't expect to still be alive now. We were almost there. We were almost there. Like, I have not got the parry timing down in this game. I respect that you can parry some of these bosses. So, like, the Phantom, definitely want to take out the Phantom first because it has less health. We were almost there. The trick with it seems to be dealing with how it teleports back to the guy. Well, I got it down in Dark Souls 1. Like, I'm genuinely good at parrying in Dark Souls 1. But I've not gotten timing in this one yet. Right. Do it. Okay, now his hair's out, he's going into climax mode. Gotcha. You and me now, fuck nugget. You're done fucked up now. Honestly, he could have had me. But he decided, you know what? Let's bring back the ad. And you know what? I know how to take advantage of an opening. Like, getting rid of the spirit. Definitely what I needed to do. I was aware of that from the first run. But after I got rid of it, the guy's attacks were still, like, a lot nastier than I was expecting, and dodging them wasn't as easy as it had been before he went into climax mode. So I was genuinely still a little bit worried. But he played his hand a little too much by trying to re-summon his phantom. Like I say,
Welcome, husband.
gotta know when to exploit an opening. That's good strength scaling.
Farewell, Ashen One.
Goodbye. Very good. You know, I should see if I can reinforce my shield some more. Loading screen. That was a fun boss, though.
Just wasn't he?
You know what probably threw me off? Wonderful. Yeah. What probably threw me off
I go. Just wasn't he?
that led me to not remembering that there are phase 2s is the giant Skeletor, the High Lord, what was it, Walric? Walnir didn't have a phase 2. When every other boss has, and so I'd gotten complacent. I am liking the phase 2 ideas. Now let's find out if these are real doors or just door-painted walls. Okay, it's a door-painted wall. There's also a door-painted wall. You know, I do like that kindling bonfires isn't a thing in this game. Ah, shit. Now get back here. And the other one's gone. Unofficial PvP. This area? I can see why. Reminds me of the pit in Blighttown. I had a fight there once. It was awful. The opponent was courteous though. It was like, yeah, let's go over here. We'll fight here. And we bow to each other, and then we fight. But as I'm sure you all know, PvP in Dark Souls is garbage because the netcode is shit. Invasion hotspot. Well, you know, I'm glad I'm not playing online. And you might be like, but you're missing out on, like, an integral part of Dark Souls. It's like, yeah, you know, I'm okay with that. I don't think any message is going to ever be as funny as Amazing Chest Ahead. I feel like we peaked early with Dark Souls in that regard. Like, it's my favourite Dark Souls meme that we just call Guinevere the Amazing Chest. You can get away, did you? It is kind of funny to see what people come up with, considering all the messages have to be made from, like, pre-approved words. Yep. Put finger in hole. Put finger in butthole. I don't want to go down there. Like, this feels like a place to just make me lose my ember. He dead? Huh. You know one of them won't be. At least one of them. Yeah, like the giant that was in the Cathedral of the Deep. Speaking of the Cathedral of the Deep. Have to work on that aim, lads. I don't like the noise that made. Good. Don't know if we're in this. Alright. What are the guys here? Dude, maybe move out of the foliage? This guy probably thinks he's menacing, slowly approaching me with his candle like that. But he does, in fact, look like a Trump. Come along. Well, we've had our fun now, boys. Now it's time for all of you to die. Every single one of you. I feel like overall that was too easy though. I don't like it. This is a trap. Okay. You look human. Come on. Come on. That's mine, not purple anymore. More like the Get Gank squad. Alright, give me... I'll work it out, give me a second. More like the Get Gank squad. Oddest things I've ever experienced in this game. Thank you. Easy peasy. When are you alive now? Yeah, one of the oddest things I've experienced in this game. Because those were clearly human. They were not hollow. Like we're getting to something. I do genuinely hate fighting mimics. Ah. Alright, let's take a look at this. Golden Spear? We can't use Yoshka's, it requires faith, fuck that. Can't use Golden Ritual Spear, requires every stat. We can use this, though. Yeah, I was walking up to him and was like, yeah, that chain is loose. Well, I do genuinely hate fighting mimics. They have way more health than I think is appropriate. And their grab attack is just as bad as just opening them. So, like, whenever I see a mimic, I'm not like, oh, I've spotted that it's a mimic. I'm like, oh, it's a mimic. I will now have to kill this mimic. The smart thing to do is probably go back down and use the bonfire again. Gonna make all those fuckers respawn, then. I'm guessing there's not a way to summon that elevator from down there. Oh, there is. I assume that will work now, then. I assume it didn't work earlier. I've been to Filing Shrine so many times in the last 20 minutes. How many souls do I need? 2,000?
Welcome us. Very well then taken. Let these farewell, Ashen
Little
One.
over 1,000. Excellent, that'll do.
Welcome home, speak. Very well then taken. Retreating to a darkness beyond the reach of flame. Let them assume a new risk. Inhabit our flesh, casting themselves upon new forms. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessel, manifestations of farewell, Ashen One.
More
May
stamina's
the
never a bad
flames
thing.
go.
Eventually I'll be able to do 7 hits. Probably be a while. Well, how many regular enemies do you think can stand up to a straight 7-hit combo from them? Probably not many. Yep, there they all are again. Can I go down there? I came from down here. Alright. That explains why I didn't see that door then. Alright. No, you're gonna get the full 6 hits. You don't understand how much you have now angered me. Bitch. Alright. You. I just de-aggroed. Lame. I need more fire resistance. Probably not. I'd rather just have like general resistance. More enemies gonna hit me physically than with fire. That said, it's kind of surprising how many enemies there have been in this game that have just hit me with fire. Based on the sounds, I'm sure one of those guys is alive. Oh, go down there and get that stuff. Make sure nobody's shooting. There you are. Now the question we have now is, do you want to be friendly? And the answer is no, because nothing in this game is friendly. I certainly get the feeling at least one of you others is alive as well. Good. Very good. Important to be sure. Kind of surprised. Usually fighting giant enemies like that, they have some kind of attack specifically made to keep you from rolling between their legs. Or like focusing your attacks around their legs and staying close to them so they can't hit you with their arms. There's usually something they have to deal with it. And they just didn't. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. This is a mistake. Probably a mistake. One of those dog things over there. I don't know what that is, but it concerns me more. Okay, there's two of them. You know what? We'll come back. Where's the ladder? There it is. I think we'll come back after we sit at a bonfire. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not stupid. I'm suspicious. Yeah, because I'm looking at this alcove and I'm expecting to round the corner and there be stairs here, and there isn't, so I'm like, is there something here? Scale. Oh. Yeah, remember in the trouble I had fighting that one enemy on the bridge? Fighting fighting one of them again is not something, is not an idea I relish. Fighting two of them, no. And then that thing in the corner that I'm very suspicious of. Look. You know what? Now I'm unhappy. Oh, the memories. Nah, if this was Dark Souls 1, I would have parried that motherfucker over and over. Right, I don't want the deacon shooting me as I'm on that ledge, which may be outside their range. Not going to take that for granted. Thanks, Bane. I am right, though. Like, do you remember when we did Dark Souls 1? And I got to the Silver Knight on the ledge, that one that's in the way of you getting into the window? And it's like, okay, this is a very precarious position, and screwing up is death. And I parried that motherfucker twice in a row. It was one of, like, the hypest moments in the early stream. Like, the balls it requires to be like, yeah, if I get hit here, that is death. And then to say, you know what? I'm going to parry. Like, it's such an aura farm move. From a time before aura farming was a term. Those giants respawned. Yeah, it was such a good move. I have to clip it off the archive. Alright. To be clear though, it was stupid to try and do that here. Like, without the practice, and without, like, the actual confidence of having gotten the timing down. Hey, you know what? If you want to come fight me, we'll fight on better ground. Okay. I'm really unhappy about that, because you saw he dropped something. Okay, was that the guy that was over here? It was. Excellent. Sure there was another guy. Sure there was a third guy. There he is. That one wasn't so bad. So you want to do this properly yet? Nope. Alright. Why am I weak to lightning? Am I a dragon? Maybe I'm a dragon. Oh, I know I want to engage first. I thought he was dead. Oh! Absolutely miscalculated. I tried to take a swig of Essus because I thought he was dead. Ugh. One of the stupidest mistakes I've ever made. Whoosh. Alright, chunk. I appreciate how his fat gives him a high level of poise. I do like this ring that I've got on that increases my attack if I keep attacking. Like, it really fits well with my general strategy of relentless aggression. That's rude. Like, the more aggressive you are, the more damage you do. That's a good thing. Alright. Here we go. You gonna come at me? No! Well, there goes like 23,000 souls. You have an ad coming up in less than 10 minutes. And I was gonna put it off so we got those souls back, but now that we've lost them, that was probably the best time to run the ad. My controller charged yet? Saying no. Alright. We'll run this ad then. And then we'll be back. And then I'm gonna make all the Silver Knights pay. And we're back.
I know you can read my thoughts, boy. Meow 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 meow.
Alright, let's do the thing. That's right. Don't fuck 'em up. It's an interesting addition to their moveset. They have lightning attacks. And, like, that lightning is not pleasant. Real quick. What's my lightning resist at? %, so my shield absorbs lightning better than any other element other than physical. Given the danger of messing up a dodge, maybe I should be trying to block the lightning attacks rather than dodge them. I'm going to hurt you. Nobody else drop any goodies? Nope, okay. Itch. It's fun to consider, like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. Here we are, climbing the ramparts of a large castle again. Or a large castle-like structure. And the Silver Knights are here. Aggro to me, you son of a bitch. Oh, really? You'll have to remind me when I finish this to consider checking them out. Slim's always recommending D'Artagnan's gaming sins. Maybe one day I'll watch them. You know. I think it's curious the range that some of these guys decide they're going to stop shooting fireballs at me and just walk at me. This fat bitch and his poise. Oh, he fell over. Didn't expect that to happen. Maybe I need a more pokey weapon sometimes. Like, I don't appreciate that my sword is bouncing off these trees. You shoot me from behind. Oh, I'm sorry, I completely forgot about you. Goddamn trees. Dun 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 dun. I really do feel like two-handing isn't really worth it. Alright, we go again. Ah, shit. We go again. Good. You fucking prick. Oh, now you want to fucking aggro me, you cunts. Wouldn't do that a minute ago, would they? Yeah, see, I did that with the expectation based on the previous few attempts. The Silver Knight on the ledge was not going to chase me. Because it hadn't the past few times. But, you know, when you start making assumptions, that's when the enemies decide, you know what? I'm gonna be a piece of shit. Like with this fat bitch last time falling over out of nowhere. Him, no! Now you'll never find out whether or not we win against the Silver Knights. Like the world's laziest bullet hell. I'll fight, but will I win? Thanks for joining us, Clem. You take care of yourself, buddy. Have yourself a good bowl. Is tonight the night where you get another 300? Not now that I've said it. Not now that I've said it and jinxed it. Yeah, the unfortunate thing with that is, like, if you get a 300 now that I've said it, there'll be the superstition of, like, you're only going to bowl 300 when I say, like, are you going to get a 300 today? The angle on that one is so bad. There we go. Take care, Clem. That motherfucker. Man, now I wish I had fucking... What was it? Soul? A fucking... The lightning spear? Always so predictable. Malcolm in the Middle is a show that I always saw a lot on TV, but never watched a lot of. It's like, I'm aware of it, and I appreciate its place in comedy history. And I recognize that it is, like, a really good show. But I never watched a lot of it. Great, Dragon Slayer Great Arrows. I don't have a Dragon Slayer Great Bow. Alright, let's have a word with this dick waffle. Don't get complacent. Guy with the bow's the problem there. I wonder. You gonna come and say hello? No? Just gonna be a shitbag? Alright. Ideally, I want to aggro this guy without aggroing that guy. No. Excellent. You guys need to take, like, less aggressive swings. Always leaves you open to backstabs. Or a bonfire in here? That in a minute. You have a spear. Cool. Ooh. What's the armor compared to my armor? heavier, but better in every other way. Considerably heavier, though. Fat roll heavy. Hmm. Well, fat roll's where I'm coming from. Yep. Oh, you prick. You were still alive. I couldn't remember his exact position. This should get me that door that was locked. Yes. Awesome. Now I don't even have to deal with the deacons. Alright. I want to hit a bonfire before I decide to jump off to something like that. Yep, always love a shortcut, especially one that lets you skip shit like that. And the carpet's there too. Yep. Gonna work? Yeah. Sure looks familiar. Doesn't seem to be any bridge though. Hmm. The bonfire's missing. And that doesn't lead into the gallery. Doesn't quite match up. No, it doesn't quite match up. But it's very similar. Yep. Yep. Yep, the front door's open this time.
Welcome home, I speak. Very well. Then touch the take now. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels.
Alright. About 4,000 souls.
Farewell, I made. Welcome, husband. Very then take. Let these souls withdrawn from their vessels, manifestations of disparity.
Yeah, you saw it here for yourself first, and then play through Dark Souls 1. So you did know Anno Londo, because you had seen me play through the first game.
Very well.
We'll take that. Let's head back and see what's in Wind's Tomb. But it was cool to see a pop from Dark Souls 3, yeah. Like I say, I hope the front door's open this time. I don't want to go through there. But it's not one-to-one. There's already stuff that's different. Like, there's no bridge over there leading to the rest of it. Though, presumably, if this is actually Anno Londo, that would be the Duke's Archives. Which would probably approximately put Sen's Fortress somewhere over there. Down below. But no gallery, though. And you only have to press this once to go down to Gwyn's tomb. When it was twice in the original. Gwyn's tomb was right at the bottom. No, just like an unknown amount of time. Because, like, it's not that any of this exists that casts doubt on the amount of time. Because there was the city of Anno Londo, you just didn't get to explore it. It's that I think raises the most questions about how much time has passed. A castle above Anno Londo? Hmm. Baron Keep is Darkroot Garden? What? Oh. The Dark Moon Knightess. Don't like this. This. In's Empty Tomb. Interesting that the Dark Moon Knightess's body is beyond the wall? Beyond where the fog wall was originally. Because Gwendolyn considered it a sin for any human to step beyond that wall. Even the candles are still here. Because Gwyn was born under the moon rather than the sun, and the moon was considered feminine. Which is odd that you then had Princess Guinevere, Princess of Sunlight. Yeah, if you kill Gwendolyn or you dispelled Guinevere's illusion, then she becomes permanently hostile. Because she so revered Gwendolyn because he accepted her, despite her mutated form, because of the extensive amount of humanity she had, which was due to her being Firekeeper. I don't know, like outside? Yes, inside, I don't know. Because like I say, Gwendolyn considered it an irreparable sin for any human to look upon the tomb of Gwyn. And the Dark Moon Knightess, given her reverence of Gwendolyn, wouldn't have taken that lightly. So her being inside suggests a little something different. That said though, let's take a look at her armor set. See if it's any good for me. Not really. Not really. Alright, let's open I can go in through the front door this time. Curious that the Silver Knights are more active this time. Probably not. But I do want to, like, see all the significant places again. I feel like that's always the case with stuff like this. You go back to a previous area that you knew. You want to see the significant areas again. So I want to see Guinevere's chamber. I want to see the bonfire where you meet Slayer. Place where the giant blacksmith was? Of course it is. Never that easy. Interesting that the bat demons seem to have been removed. I want to see Havel's room. See if that's still there. There's another seam in the world. Huh. Didn't expect to see his body. Well, being able to access this means we can get straight into the main hall. That's right, friend. I was thinking, like, wow, it's dark in here. And it is. Something else feels like it's going on. Ghost in there? Right, so we're going to want to open the gate. This definitely raises questions about what the Deacons of the Deep are. Well, not checking out all that area then. Unless I can go in through the window at the side. Is this going to be worse than dealing with the giant sentinels, though? Alright. I guess the first hint that this was Anor Londo was the return of the mentions of the Dark Moon. Blobs. All creatures to encounter here. Of course it wouldn't be that easy. So caught up looking for blobs, I didn't even look where I was going. Cursed, what's the concern with that? Am I still cursed? think I am. Odd. Just kills you. Alright. So build up a curse and then instant death. Alright. Try that again. Before we go back in though, I do want to take a look over that area. Really? Do you fucking mind? Well, I've lost those souls now. So we might as well practice parrying. The real trouble is having to do this on stairs. Alright, come on. Let's do some practice. It looked positive when I got that first parry off, and now it's just looking like, yeah, that was absolutely a fluke. Good amount of souls for these two, though. Alright. Did you ever get caught with curse in Dark Souls 1, Bane? Did you ever get caught with a curse in Dark Souls 1? Why'd you have red eyes? Many times. It only got me the once. I got very wary of it after that first time. That's new. Huh. That's gone. Yeah, it only got me the once. My first time through the depth, I fell down a hole, which, you know, not surprising if you've been through the depths. A lot of hidden holes. I fell down a hole and basically just ran into some basilisks, and it was my first time ever seeing them. And I think they're the first enemies that do anything to do with, like, gas. Yeah, I despise the depths. Yeah, they got me, and I was cursed, and it's like, oh, half my health is just gone. I was very... I think I had to look up how to get rid of it. Because it's not straightforward. Finding the moss merchant. And having her give, like, buying the item off her. Ever since then, I've not been cursed in Dark Souls 1 again. Because I play it way too wary. And also, I just avoid the depths now. Like, if I play Dark Souls 1 again, which doesn't happen much... Master Key, at the back door to Blighttown. Yeah, the Moss Merchant is right next to Firelink. The giant spider thing, I'm not super concerned about. Motherfuckers. Yeah, I'll deal with it and I'll overcome it. My real concern is getting caught by any of the blobs. Drex. But also, now that I know that spider thing's there, I want to see if I can see it before it attacks. Because I didn't see it last time because I wasn't looking, and I didn't see it the first time when we saw it in the Cathedral of the Deep. Though that has just connected those two dots in my head that it was at the Cathedral. Yeah, there it is. Sneaky bastard. That has just connected the dots. The Deacons of the Deep. The blobs are back. That thing. I want to take this slowly and methodically. I don't want to fight that giant spider thing while I'm watching my back for these. Run, 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 run. There we go. Do not take it slowly, they will drop on your head. It's interesting that they're guarding the door like that with that thing, though. Because it's not like in Dark Souls 1, where opening the door is a huge shortcut. Like, if anything, opening the door puts me into having to deal with probably more things than going round the side where the giant blacksmith was. Didn't realize that'd do that much damage. Yeah, I can believe that. Maybe I want to do it reverse. Deal with the inside. Deal with that fog door. Deal with what's out there. Anything drop? One blob drop. And the way they've set it up so you can't view the roof from safety. Yeah, once the doors open, it'll mean these guys can aggro you from outside. That's just not helpful. I wonder if the whip's any good on them. Like the notched whip that causes bleed. Nope. Been useless. Tell you, man, one day I would love to just go into the code or whatever and change the damage properties of whips. Make the stupid play. Is this gonna work? Little bit, but the damage isn't worth it versus like a regular damage. He attacks slower and drains more stamina. Right, so it wasn't ghosts I was seeing, it's curtains. Okay. Alright. Keeps dying and giving me souls here. Sometimes I'm really good, and then other times I'm just dying to, like, the basic fodder. This is probably a good place to call it, though, since we lost the souls in the boss fight. And we have an ad coming up in, like, 10 minutes, and I don't want to go a huge amount. I don't want to go long enough to justify another ad. Yeah. It never feels good when it does happen. But I guess Friday. We'll be back on Friday with more of this. And we'll probably start earlier and probably go longer. So yeah, that'll be it. We'll come back on Friday and we'll deal with Aldrich, Devourer of Gods. I'm wondering how many gods he could have possibly devoured to have that as a plural title. It's like, hey, there was one god left in Anor Londo when we left it, if we didn't kill him, and it was Gwendolyn. Open the door, you think? Alright. I'll take your advice on that if I remember it, Bane. I'll try to remember. You'll probably be here. You'll probably be here to remind me. But yeah. Makes the run back more simple. Yeah. But it's not like this is a complicated run back. That's what I was thinking earlier when we were discussing it. Like, it's not like we're going around there again. Or even from the bonfire in the room where you meet Slayer back to there. But yeah. I want to thank everyone for joining the stream. I always really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everyone in chat. Chat is always the best part of the stream. Bane, Clem, Spunk, Teak popped in. I believe that was everybody. Let's say we're back on Friday with more of this. But yeah. Nelson was here. Thank you, Ben. I always count on you to remind me who I've missed. I don't have a project lined up specifically in mind for daylight shooting time, but we'll think of something. And then the Legend of Sunday on Sunday.
Who said that? Which one of y'all dead motherfuckers just said that shit?
Perfect. I think I prefer that over the Full Metal Jacket. Who the fuck said that? When Arlie Ermey's shouting it, and it's Joker. But regardless, there's not really anything else to say, except thank you all for watching. Have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and yeah, we'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.